Income gets you on the road, but control over spending, that's what keeps you there. I'm Penny Rose, a CPA who runs my business from an RV. And today I want to show you the freedom gauge, the one number that tells you if your money can actually last as long as your travel dreams. Whether you're freelancing, running a business, or just stretching your savings, most travelers do not consistently track their income and expenses. They know what came in and they sort of know what went out, but they don't know if it's sustainable. That's why I created the Freedom Gauge. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask you to do math. The tracker I'm giving you today does that for you automatically. It takes your income and your expenses and then shows you one simple chart. Are you in the safe zone or in the danger zone? Let me tell you about Lacey McLaughlin. She was determined to make her travel blog successful. She worked two jobs, had roommates, and poured every spare dollar into travel experiences, thinking it was an investment in her content. But here's the truth: she was spending more than she brought in, and over time, her savings vanished. When her car broke down on a trip, she had nothing left. She ended up broke and was forced to go home and rebuild. The problem wasn't her creativity, it was that she never had a way to see if her money could sustain her. Most business owners think, first I'll get revenue, then I'll worry about profit. Only later do they look at their expenses. But the truth is, you need to build expense discipline in the very beginning. It's so much easier to start a healthy habit than it is to stop later and try to figure out things that you can cut that you've already gotten used to using. One of my clients tried to save money by paying for a full year of a tool, and she hadn't even tested it yet. 3 months later, she pivoted away from the thing that she had gotten the tool for and had no use for the tool whatsoever. And that money was gone because she didn't control the expenses up front. I recommend at least testing it and using it for a month before you decide to pay for an entire year. Most business owners think it's just a matter of selling their way out of overspending. There are two big problems with that. First one is the more revenue you bring in, the higher your taxes are going to be. So, increasing sales means that you're going to pay more tax. The second problem is it's always faster to cut one expense than make one more sale. You already control the expenses. You don't control the sale. You can't force someone to buy something from you in order to get more revenue. So your goal should be to run your business on the revenue that you have today, and not look at the revenue you think you're going to have tomorrow and spend based on tomorrow's revenue. So say you're launching a campaign that will bring in $1,000. So we're going to use the 30% rule and say that your expenses, your additional expenses that you have to add for that particular campaign, you're going to cap those at $300. And this is how you keep things sustainable, because the rest of the money, which is the rest of the program that I teach, goes towards paying yourself, setting aside money to pay taxes, and some profit, which you can use to make a big purchase or pay something off in your personal budget. So controlling your expenses and in looking at things in percentages, like I did in the last slide, it's based on Parkinson's law. I don't know if you've ever heard of Parkinson's law, but the original definition of it was that work expands to fill the time. And guess what? Money works exactly the same way. Money works, and expenses expand to fill your budget unless you restrict them to the 30%. So when you cap your operating expenses at 30%, you'll naturally find way more efficient ways to get the same results. So here's how you build the habit. You start with looking at your revenue on the 10th of the month and the 25th of the month and allocate whatever you see. If you see $1,000 on the 10th, allocate 30%, which is $300, to expenses. Now, you can hope that you if you leave that in your business bank account, you can hope that there's $300 left over when you go to pay your bills, or you can do an advanced maneuver, and you could open up a separate bank account just for your expenses. So you can take that 30% of your revenue on the 10th and 30% of your revenue on the 25th, and you can move it to another bank account so that that money doesn't get spent down while you're waiting for those expenses to come in. And then when the expenses do come in, you're only going to pay those expenses from that separate bank account that where you've put the 30%. And there's a power move that you can take that's one step farther. You can automate that transfer so that it happens without you even having to think about it. So I recommend you start small, and you'll build a muscle that keeps your business sustainable. Here is the easy bookkeeping tracker. Enter your income on the income sheet, which is on the left, and your expenses in the expense sheet, which is on the right. That's it. No spreadsheet skills, no calculations. In minutes, it pulls everything into a summary. Now, here's the freedom gauge. The green line shows how much of your income goes towards expenses each month, and the orange line shows the safe zone. Below 30%, you're good. Above 30%, that's a warning. It means your expenses are eating away your freedom. So here's your action step. Open your tracker and enter just last month's income and expenses. Don't go back years. Don't wait until it's perfect. 1 month is enough to see if you're safe or at risk. And if you want more structure, tax ready categories, and 5 dashboards that give you the full picture, that's what the Small Business Bookkeeping Tracker is for. And here's the best part: grab the all access pass for this summit, and you'll get it included for free. Freedom isn't just about how much you save or even how much you earn. It's about whether your money can actually sustain your lifestyle. The freedom gauge shows you that in one simple chart. So download the Easy Tracker, put in last month's numbers, and check your freedom gauge. That one step could keep you traveling on your terms for years.